MusicUCanSee winner NAMM, Robert Goetzl, artist extraordinaire from Martin Guitars. Welcome to NAMM, but I want to introduce you as a board member of the CF Martin.
And that is a recent, development since last February. I was asked to join the Martin board. And what an honor it is to help Chris Martin and the leadership of the company to guide that company forward to many, many years of productivity. As Chris nears retirement and his daughter will be involved in some capacity, hopefully, with the company. I am so privileged to be sitting on that board with many remarkable people helping this company go forward. Just amazing. So,
I'm sure it's a privilege to be on the board, also a privilege to have your artwork on a Martin guitar.
Yes, absolutely. This is a dream come true. I have to say, when I was in art school a long time ago, when the dinosaurs were still roaming the earth, I had this vision that someday I was going to do some artwork for the company. I don't know why, but as I went to art school and Chris went off to college and he did his business things with the company, and I was trying to pursue my art career doing, gallery work and freelance assignments for advertising agencies, children's books, all sorts of things. At one point, our two careers kind of meshed, where I was invited by Chris Martin to send an idea in for a guitar, and I very passionately and quickly put together a sketch and sent it off, which happened to be the 175th anniversary of the company. So it was tied into a theme of that historic, the portrait of C.F. Martin Sr., the factory, the old guitar, and it all worked beautifully that it landed on the desk of Dick Boak. Do you remember Dick Boak with the company? Well, anyway, he was an incredible employee within that company and very much of a skilled artist himself. Saw this sketch, brought it to a meeting. It was approved for use, and they asked me to do this artwork, and I've been with the company for the last 18 years. So, and somewhere along the line, they decided, well, let's start utilizing Robert and maybe designing some artwork that can be reproduced on a guitar. And they got a high-tech 4-color, 5-color printer. They would photograph my original artwork and then start reproducing it on the guitar. And that was very cool. But then at some point, after doing some murals, working in the museum, designing their exhibits, Chris Martin said, Robert, why don't we start painting on top of the guitar? And it was like, what? What are you thinking? Turning me loose with paint on a guitar. Very important when we're talking about this is that it's my canvas with a hole and a bridge, but more importantly, it's got the Martin name, and it needs to sound like a Martin guitar above all else. So that paint has to be applied very thin, knowing that there's going to be a lacquer top put on as well. And the thinnest paint that I can work with, even that is, that affects the sound just a little bit, but I take sandpaper and I sand even the paint back a little bit, taking back some of the high spots so that the lacquer does not need to fill in those hills and valleys. So it's a thing, it's a project, and it's very time consuming. And as you can tell, little brush strokes are making up most of this artwork. So, what are your thoughts on it? You're sitting there in silence, just shaking your head.
The intricacy of the detail is just, I see every brush stroke.
Yes.
This must take you months to do.
Well, and the most incredible thing for me is that Chris Martin has given me this opportunity to paint on it, but also assign my name to the guitar. So it's not, it's not only are they signed, if you look inside here at the neck block, there's my name, and it's my own line of Martin guitars. So you can see we're here at number 10. I've done 10.
The diversity, though, of your work is just, usually artists have just one look.
That never sat well with me. I'm always trying to push my own creative talent. And I don't want to be bored. You know, I'm not just cranking out this artwork. I'm trying to come up with compelling images, bold images, so that, you know, if somebody's buying this thing and wants to perform it on stage, people can see what it is and very clearly see what it is. So I love using the use of color, and depending on, you know, this design, as you can tell, this wolf is like this dark blue color, but the hummingbird is quite bright with yellows and greens and pinks and all sorts of gorgeous colors. I can't wait to show you what the next one's going to be. There's more coming.
Possible, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we'll be talking in another 365 days.
You must have created a niche, though, I think, for artists, because this is, I don't ever recall this being done prior.
Not on an acoustic guitar, perhaps, very
Yeah, on electric, you're right.
right. Solid bodies, it doesn't matter how thick you put the paint on.
This affects the sound.
Well, I'm very interested in telling the story that originally I think there was some hesitation about putting an image on the guitar. Some people love, and I am one of those, a beautiful spruce top with some amazing, you know, gorgeous mother of pearl inlays. And some people think I'm mucking up the top with paint. You know, why are you doing that when you have this gorgeous wood? Interestingly enough, this time around, I'm receiving an awful lot of requests for artwork done by myself for guitars, and it's becoming a thing. And I don't know what to do with that, because I'm just so humbled by this whole environment that somebody wants my artwork on a guitar for them to play. You know, when you're doing it, these go up for a lottery, in a lottery. Later this afternoon, people who are interested in these guitars, the dealers, can put their name in a lottery system.
Resell them.
Right. So that we're not just, you know, it's so that each of the dealers gets a fair shake, all right? Because many people want them. You just can't say, well, you deserve it or you deserve it. It's up for grab. You know, it's not just a piece of artwork to hang on the wall. It is a gorgeous sounding guitar on top of everything else.
It is playable art, but no one's ever played a Brillo box.
Well, no, they haven't. Good point. How about a cigar box?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that is the whole point of this thin paint, you know, applying it as thin as I can, not to affect it. I don't want it to sound like a brick with strings, right? It's got to sound like a gorgeous instrument. So I'm just decorating what already is very, very beautiful instruments to begin with. And I have to, you know, shout out to my colleagues at Martin Guitar. They build these gorgeous bodies for me. I take it and do something to it, and then I hand it back to them, and they turn their magic loose, and it becomes this gorgeous guitar with gorgeous, flawless lacquer on top, and the inlays in the headstock, and the care and love that they give each and one of these instruments when they're building it is just amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Robert, it's a pleasure.
It's all mine. Thank
Always
you for
love
asking.
seeing you at every year at NAMM at Martin booth.
Yep.
Tino, MusicUCanSee, we're Winter NAMM. Robert Goetzl, artist extraordinaire.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.